It's always hard to define the kind of music that we play.
Well, it's roots rock.
To, bluegrass influences.
The Celtic element's still in there somewhere.
Rock and pop music.
A lot of Americana.
Folk. The funk at times.
That's kind of how we look at our music now, with multiple genres, styles, influences all coming together to kind of make the unique Enter the Haggis sound.
To understand the way these various pieces and influence and elements fit together, you kind of have to go back to the beginning and the way the band started.
This is where it all started. Toronto, Ontario, Canada. Young and bluer. I used to busk here, 35 years old, no job. I'd had a lot of work in offices and I'd done a lot of things for a living that I didn't like. I didn't want to condemn myself to a life of suffering and office politics, so I decided perhaps I could make it as a performer. I got a band together. The year was 1996. We started to play.
I was really young and experienced a lot of new things for the first time. It was really an amazing turning point. To realize that you could be paid to play music was a pretty amazing thing.
We'd arranged a gig and we weren't ready. But you're never ready. You're never ready for your first gig. We had no name. I thought Haggis would be a good thing because we had bagpipes. I bounced this off a friend and he said, well, how about something a bit deeper, something you can get into, like Enter the Haggis.
I had no plans to do anything besides become a musician. I got a call from a friend of mine who was a fiddle player for a band called Enter the Haggis, who needed me to fill in just for the weekend, and here I am 12 years later.
When I joined the band, it was local touring, Thursday, Friday, Saturdays, Celtic Irish pubs and things like that.
So the original drummer, James Campbell, decided to leave the band. A few people recommended me. Trevor contacted me, asked me if I would like to join the band, and I said yes. The rest is history.
Back in 2001, we got the offer to play at the Pennsylvania Renaissance Fair.
Prior to that, we'd been playing local festivals in Ontario. This was our first time in the States. I don't think I could have pointed to the state of Pennsylvania on a map.
Playing in the U.S. really introduced us to a much wider audience.
Actually, we ran out of CDs and we made up slips of paper in the morning as an IOU and sold those for the second day at the festival.
We probably sold more records over the course of that weekend than we had in the band's existence before that. That's where it was at for us, was in the United States.
So after that first show in the US, the crowds just started getting bigger and more enthusiastic.
Today we have some really great opportunities to play some really wonderful venues in front of some great crowds.
We've had opportunities to play every kind of venue you can imagine. Played at Philly Folk Fest, Ann Arbor Folk Festival, Merle Fest a couple of times, the Cayamo Cruise a couple of times, from the early days in the pubs through big rock clubs to, more recently, a lot of opera houses and performing arts centers.
What's cool about performing arts centers is that you can be heard.
Often they're beautiful old buildings, just very comfortable spots to put on our show.
It's really thrilling to play in venues like that, specifically because people are there to listen.
They're focused upon the stage, they're focused upon the sound.
We've been doing it now for so long that a lot of these places that were new and exciting are familiar.
I think we've been to 48 states now, 47 or 48 states, and we've toured Germany, Italy, England, Scotland, Ireland, but nothing was quite as big as the day that we got the call to go play on Regis and Kelly's show. Well, obviously we jumped at the chance, but it meant driving overnight from New Hampshire after the show to Midtown Manhattan.
Got down there about 4 in the morning.
I think we slept for about half an hour, and then we had to load all of our gear in and attempt to be as perky as Kelly Ripa at 5 o'clock in the morning.
You've done something that rarely happens here. You made our studio all clap to the beat of the music, and that almost never happens, so thank you for that.
Thank you.
Will you play one more song?
None of what we do, touring or recording, would be possible without the incredible fan base that we've got.
The Kickstarter we just had, it's really clear.
We didn't expect to hit our goal in 8 hours.
I mean, we raised over $66,000.
Just from our fans believing in what we're doing.
You never know what's going to happen with a band.
For every 10 people who have heard of you, there's 10 million who haven't.
We just want to continue to make great music.
Make the Haggis Head family that much bigger, I suppose.
Make people happy, make more people happy.
If future is bright.
Thanks very much.